With the help of the Almighty, I pray that He should bestow upon me His truth, His wisdom, that I may convey His message, and so, inshallah, sanctify His name and bring peace to the world. We just constantly talk about this long chain of this Nakba, of this colossal tragedy, of this colossal murder, mass murder that's happening in Palestine. Our rabbis, from day one, when this movement of Zionism came and encroached on the Holy Land, the people, the Jewish communities that was there. And I must tell you, we usually travel together. I have with my colleague, Rabbi Rosenberg, is 8th generation Palestinian, from Safed, from Safas, from Jerusalem, Al-Quds. They lived together in the same courtyards. They helped each other. They whatever that was necessary, whether it was babysitting the children when they went to the synagogues, whatever it was that one needed to help, they were there, one for the other. This was a beautiful fabric, a beautiful coexistence, and the Zionists came with their concept, a transformation to nationalism, from our beautiful religion into nationalism. And the rabbi said, you are masquerading, you are falsifying our religion, you have no right to use it. They keep on doing this. They're doing this for well over 75 years, for over 100 years. And every time, wherever they tread, there's death and suffering. This is what's going on in Palestine. This is the reason why, tragically, we are watching how the people of Gaza are being murdered every single day. They're lying there in the hallways of the hospitals in excruciating pain, children, women, old people, because there's no anesthesia, there's no medication, there is no way to perform surgery, and it's all because not of a religious conflict, because of a selfish, flawed political movement that encroached upon the beautiful community of the Holy Land some 100 years ago. How dare we be silent? How can we be silent? People with compassion, people with heart. We are here to bear testimony. We are Jews who are generations Jews. I am from Europe. My father escaped when the Nazis came into Hungary. These were very religious communities. My colleague is from Palestine. We are people who live together. We had one message, to emulate God, to do good, to be good citizens, not to take over a land from another people. This is not Judaism. This is criminal. This is unacceptable. Yet there are politicians around the world, maybe because it's convenience sake. I would like to not to judge them badly. I would say that a lot of these politicians are being conned, and they think they're being compassionate and worrying about the suffering of the Jews, but they're being terribly misled. How dare they be silent when the people in Gaza, children are dying, children are Hamas. I mean, we're not even talking about that Hamas represents the communities there as a government. But what's going on? Is the world gone berserk? We can't see this and be silent. You have to know that the 1,400 people that were tragically killed, they keep on talking about that. Well, let's talk about that. The first day this happened was 75 years, this death and suffering of Jews together with the Palestinians. The Palestinians in much larger numbers. But why is that happening? How much longer are we going to go in lockstep with the Zionist game that they're playing? If that came because of something that changed, what changed? There was one thing, the introduction of Zionism to the state of Israel. Prior to the introduction of Zionism, we lived in every Arab land. Where are all the communities in Iraq, in Egypt, in Tunisia, in all the other lands? That's the Hamas land. How come there's no Jewish communities? What changed? One thing happened. This introduction of a so-called Judaism that's masquerading in my name and creating hate and discord and a rift between Jews and Muslims. This is unacceptable. This is death. Zionism is anti-Semitism. The state of Israel is anti-Semitism personified. It's the essence of what it means. It means to create hate, that blood should be dripping, blood should be flowing like rivers from the people of Palestine and from Jews. How dare they talk about these 1,400 people who died Jews? I'm not condoning the violence, but how can you fool yourself? It's an insult to the intelligence of humanity to say that this was caused because of a group that's leading there in Gaza. It happened because you are occupying the people unacceptable. This is criminal. They're murderers. They're criminals. How dare the world follow in their lockstep in their narrative? This is insulting the intelligence and humanity and compassion of human beings. We plead with the political leaders. We plead with them. Anna Vernikov, she thinks that she could parade as a Jew, and she could come here and keep on spewing the hate and say that the Muslims and the Palestinians hate us. How dare she say that? We are living examples of how we coexisted for hundreds of years. How old is she that she has the audacity to refute that? This is unacceptable. We plead with the people in government who have an iota of truth left in them and justice. Stand up, please. Do not let New York be led into this quagmire, into the death, taking out a gun, telling the people, showing them, giving them a wink, and saying that they should take guns. God help us, but that gun has to be taken away, not just from New York, but from the occupation of Gaza and Palestine. Inshallah, as a Jew, we urge everybody to plead and pray to the Almighty with His compassion to bring the speedy and peaceful removal of the impediment to peace, this rebellion against God, this so-called Judaism that's not Judaism, and let us not be silent. Don't be intimidated. Right across the bridge, you have right over here, rather, you have in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, the largest community of anti-Zionist Jews, of religious Jews, and you'll see there's not one Israeli flag. It's the largest concentration of religious Jews outside of Mea Shearim in Al-Quds, and they all don't have Israeli flags, as other communities around the world who are truly true to their religion. So therefore, when you're being attacked as anti-Semitic, say, I'm looking at the distinguished rabbis and leaders of Judaism. They say against Zionism is Semitism. Anti-Semitism is supporting the state. Let us not be silent. Speak up. Give what you have of yourself. Find some way, 24 hours a day. Don't rest. Think of a way that you could influence the leaders of the world to stop and desist the support of this rebellion against God, killing, maiming. Unbelievable, unacceptable. God help us with a free Palestine.